Okay, so your Mad Max game is completely separate from the recent movie, but the movie, there's so much hype around it. So in what way does the Mad Max video game relate to the movie?
Even though our game is a separate entity altogether, we did consult with George Miller early on in the project, and he sort of laid down the rules for what the wasteland is, and what kind of a character Max is, and how people react to each other in the wasteland, and what the resources are, and the scarcity of resources, how vicious and brutal the world is, what kind of materials we should focus on, and everything like that. And we just soaked it in like sponges and walked away from there with all of this information and try to make a video game that's true to these to the canon that he laid down for us.
You have this whole set of information.
Yeah.
How do you make a game out of that? I mean, how do you make an original game out of that without losing the creative freedom?
Well, for us, the biggest challenge has been to create a world that's so big. Since it's an open world action adventure, it's just it's supposed to have you driving around there for hours and hours and hours upon end and find new stuff to do everywhere. So I think the greatest challenge from a creative perspective is to make this wasteland, which is desolate by nature, full of fun and interesting things to do, and scary things, and enemies, and surprises, so it doesn't ever get boring. And so we try to pepper this wasteland with remnants of the old world and camps full of strange people, and you will meet so many bizarre characters and hideous enemies, and it's just it's overwhelming the amount of stuff you can do.
Will the fans of the old trilogy and the new movie recognize elements from the game in the game?
I think so. Yes, it definitely takes place in the same wasteland. It is a uniquely Mad Max world. It's just the storyline is its own storyline within this world, and its own Mad Max adventure, where the player gets to be Mad Max and do all of the cool things that Mad Max can do, and they don't have to be insane to do it.
So making a game out of Mad Max and making a new story for it, is it hard to make an original story because there's already so much background to it?
Yes, it is. But I got to say, in all honesty, that the bare bones of the story was laid down to us by George Miller. So the arcs, if you will, and then we wrote the story from that arc. So we kind of knew what we were doing from that. We had a framework, but it's really hard, I gotta say. One of the hardest things I've done.
I need powder. Black, deadly, and smoky.
And that's where I come in, huh?
Now, listen!
And now the new Mad Max movie, it's such a huge success. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody wants to see it. It's the biggest, maybe the biggest movie of the year so far. That certainly puts pressure on you guys. How do you feel about it, and how do you feel about the movie's success? And are you making changes to the game now that you see that the movie is a success?
The game is done, and it's coming out on the 1st of September. So we're at road's end with this. But I think that it's a sort of a giddiness more than anything else. We're looking forward so much to see what the audience will think about it, and hopefully they will appreciate it as much as we do. There is a slight nervousness that people will compare it to all too much, but of course we're making a video game, and it's not an action movie. It's two completely different things. So I hope that the audience will appreciate all of the cool things that you can do in the game, and all of the freedom that you will get.
Defeat your enemies and reclaim the life they stole. You will survive, because you are Max.